Hey you guys, so I'm back and I wanted to go ahead and film what I've been talking about filming forever, which is my get to know me video. I feel like I just jumped onto YouTube a couple of years ago and nobody knew anything about me, and why would you watch somebody you know absolutely nothing about? So I've been really excited and really gung-ho to come back on YouTube and to put out more content, but why not start with a get to know me video? Duh, Candace. So as I just said, if you didn't already know, my name is Candace. I am 33 years old. I will be 34 next Wednesday. My birthday is August 5th. So hopefully you guys will be around to shout me happy birthday shout out next week. I am now the mother of 2 beautiful children. I have a teenage daughter who you might see walk in and out. She is the light of my life and I love her so much. She is 14. She will be 15 next month. I can't believe it. And I have a little boy now. He is a year old, and it's crazy because for 13 years I only had 1 kid and now I have 2. So that was a pretty big change. That's actually what motivated my return to YouTube, because when I got pregnant with my son, like I said, I had been a only child mom for 13 years, and at the time that I did get pregnant with my son, my daughter was living out of state with her father. Her father and I are no longer together, but my son's father and I are. So she was out of the state, and my boyfriend and I have been back together for a few years, and we decided that we were ready to go ahead and expand our family. So now we have 2 babies. My boyfriend and I have been back together for 3.5 years. 3.5 years. No, 3 years. 3 years now. He is actually my high school sweetheart, which is why I keep saying back together, because we've been together, broken up, been together, broken up. So this is our 3rd time back together, and this is it for me. He says it's it for him too. So hopefully I'll be sharing, you know, more stuff featuring him. Hopefully there'll be an engagement, you know, planning for our wedding. But I'm speaking all of that into existence because, like I said, this is it for me. I've known him for, I want to say 2004 to 2020, 16 years? No, I've known him longer. I've known him since 2002. We graduated in 2004. So, yeah. Almost 18 years. It's crazy. But we've never been able to quit each other. We've always been in each other's lives. Even when we were not together, we maintained friendships, and I can't see my life without him, especially now that we have a son. I don't see a future without my boyfriend in it, and I don't know. I don't know how we got this far without each other, but it doesn't matter because we're together now, and I don't know. I just love him. You know how people ask you, you know, questions about your relationship and how you knew he was the one and stuff like that? I honestly can babble and talk to you guys for ages, but I can't find the right words to explain that to you, to explain why he is it for me, but he is. So that's a little bit about my family. I am from a small town in southern Maryland. I still live in Maryland now. I've stayed in the Maryland, Virginia, DC area all of my life. I've never lived anywhere else except for when I went away to college for my freshman year. And I was out in Alabama for that. I went to an HBCU, Alabama State University, and it was an experience, to say the least. I was only gone for that year because, number one, I was very, very homesick, and number two, I got pregnant with my daughter during my Christmas break when I was back here at home. So I did try to pursue a degree in journalism at that time, and I took my core courses, but I didn't take, any journalism courses then. So once I came back home after that year, I did try to do the new mom / college student thing, and it didn't work out as well as I had hoped. I've been back and forth into college for a long time, and unfortunately I haven't gotten my degree yet, but that doesn't mean I won't ever get it. I do plan on getting my degree. I've actually changed my major a few times. I went from journalism to generalizing it a little bit and trying to go for a communications degree, and then I switched gears altogether, and I tried to capitalize on what I know very well, especially with being a young mom. But I tried to do the childcare route because I've loved children for as long as I can remember. I've always loved babies. I've always wanted to take care of them. I babysat for little cousins very early in life, and early childhood education is very, very important to me. It's something that I truly believe in, because I don't feel like a lot of people understand how much the brain develops in those early years, and I feel like the sooner children start learning, the better off they'll be. So because I'm so passionate about it, I've tried to take that course of action when it comes to my career. But unfortunately, in our country, childcare is not revered as highly as it should be, in my opinion. We don't pay our childcare workers and our teachers enough. And that's another thing that I am very, very vocal about, and something that I feel strongly about, because these people are not only taking care of our children when we're out, making money to make sure that they are provided for, but they're teaching them things that we don't even think about teaching them at home. So that's something that I'm really, really passionate about as well. Right now, I'm a stay-at-home mom. The last position that I held out in the workforce was actually a retail position, and one of the things that drew me to the position that I did have is the fact that I was educating people. It's on something that you probably wouldn't think that grown women would need education on, but it is. I may talk about it in a different video. I haven't decided whether or not I'm going to do that, but if I do, you'll be the first ones to know. But because I felt like I was doing not only customer service, but I was doing a little bit of education too, I stuck with that career or job for a while. But after I had my son, I wasn't making enough money. And when my daughter moved back to live with me and my boyfriend, it was, again, it wasn't conducive, because when I got my paycheck, I was paying it right back out to get to and from work, because Little known fact, I am a grown woman. Well, it's not a little known fact, not to the people who know me, but I do not carry a driver's license. I know. It's ridiculous, and the reason why is because I had really bad anxiety around driving and around test taking. So every time I went to take my driver's ed courses, and whenever I went to, take the test for my learner's permit, I got really, really bad anxiety. My palms would sweat. My heart would beat out of my chest. It was ridiculous. So for the longest time, I was very, very anxious to get my license. But now at the age that I'm at and where I live, and the fact that I have 2 kids, and if God forbid anything happened, I need to be able to get them from one place to another, whether it's for a practice of some sort, or if God forbid they need to go to the hospital. I put that above how I feel. And I know a lot of moms do the same. They're like, it's absolutely everything that my kid needs is much more important than my fears or my anxieties. So as soon as I can get to MVA, I do plan on getting my learner's permit back and getting my license. But I'm bouncing all over the place. But before, I was talking about the fact that, my little paycheck from my retail job wasn't enough to do anything other than get me to and from my retail job. So it didn't make any sense to go ahead and make that money just to give it back to public transportation. I'm not making any money to help with my household. So that, and because I didn't have the money to do anything but go to and from work, I didn't have money to pay for childcare, for my baby. And my daughter is in high school now. Oh my God. So she can't care for him. So we ultimately decided that I was going to stay home with our kids. And honestly, it's one of the greatest things to come out of 2020, honestly, because I didn't leave my retail job until about the middle of January. But after that, 2 months later, COVID-19 hit. So it's good that I was already in a position where I didn't necessarily have to work, and I wasn't working, so it wasn't, devastating that, all the non-essential places closed, because, it didn't hurt me necessarily. I was already at home, so, it was easier to be like, all right, we're going to bunker down, we're going to quarantine at home, and, I'm going to take care of my family. I wanted to answer some questions that I got. Before this video, I did mention on my social media platforms that I was going to be eventually doing one of these videos. So I got a few questions, not a whole lot. So, what are your hobbies and how did you get into them? So, I have one hobby that I'm still into now, and one that I've sadly gotten away from, and I want to get back into it. When I was in high school, as most teenagers do, they go through a little rebellious phase, and my dad worked with me a lot on figuring out, well, what do you want to do with yourself? What makes you happy? What do you want to do in life? And we actually had, a really in-depth conversation, and I told him, I love music. I want to sing. If it were up to me, that's what I would do with my life. Actually, that is another one of the questions that I got. If money wasn't a factor, what would you be doing with your life right now? And if I still had the pipes that I did in high school and money wasn't a factor, I would definitely be a singer. R&B is my favorite type of music, and I would love, love, love to do that as a career. But because, as we all know, money is a factor, and the entertainment industry is not the easiest to break into, that's why I went to school for journalism and communications and childcare eventually. Sorry about that. The little one woke up, so I had to get him back together so he could finish his nap. Anyway, so back to my hobbies. Like I said, singing is something that I love and sadly have gotten away from. The other hobby that I have is writing, actually. I don't know if you guys know. I should probably be tagging it a lot more and mentioning it a lot more, but I also have a blog, and my blog's address is, or URL is www.takingitadatime2016.com. I started this at the end of that year, actually, December 2016, and it's, you know, just a creative outlet of mine, and I've been on again, off again, writing on it for a while. But just like I said about singing, that's what came up when I talked to my dad about, you know, what I was into, what I wanted to do. That's one of the reasons why when I did go to college, I had decided that I wanted to pursue a journalism career at first, and then it slowly diminished from there to communications, and then I totally shifted gears. But I felt like it was easier to start a career in childcare, or if, you know, I were to try and write, a communications degree was a little bit broader, so it would be easier to go ahead and get into that. One of the other questions I got was, what shows am I currently binge watching? And I'm all over the place right now, especially with quarantine. I traditionally like a lot of sitcoms. I usually watch TV and watch movies to get away from the monotony, to get away from my regular life. So I usually want to watch something that's funny, that's gonna, you know, give me some comic relief, or I want to be challenged just a little bit. A lot of the shows that I watch are either true crime or some kind of crime. So recently I've started watching Chicago PD because that's something my boyfriend loves, so I wanted to binge watch it so when the next season comes, I'm caught up so we can watch it together. Law and Order SVU is one of my favorite shows, but I'm up to date on that. So those are the kind of like crime shows that I like. So I've gotten into Chicago PD. Sitcom wise, I'm actually catching up on Blackish, and sadly I got into Modern Family too late. Unfortunately, the finale was at the end of this past TV schedule, which was actually amped up because of COVID-19. But yeah, I just started watching that and it's hilarious. Some other shows that I like and have been binge watching, but I've kind of taken a back seat because of life and because of the other shows. I really like Queen of the South. That's a really good show, and that's something else that my boyfriend and I can enjoy together. I want to start watching, or I want to binge a couple of other shows like Good Girls. I started it, didn't get to finish it. Pose, I started and loved, but for whatever reason I haven't watched. And that's funny to me because I've watched the competition reality show on HBO Max, Legendary, which is actually, you know, the ball scene as well. So I don't know why I watched that, but I haven't finished Pose. I don't know what's wrong with me, but I do plan on getting back to it. Working Moms has been recommended to me by one of my closest friends, and I started it. I loved it, but I just haven't turned it back on. I don't know why. It's easier for me, I think, to watch stuff that I've already watched because it's easy. It's more like ambiance. So if I'm doing something with the kids, you know, I'm not missing anything. And that's the thing about TV and movies. I want to be able to pay attention if I'm watching something new, and I don't want to run into, you know, not being able to see everything because, you know, I had to stop and do something, or I had to, you know, change a diaper or run after my son or help my daughter with something. So it's just easier to, you know, turn on something I already have watched. Recently, actually it was last summer, I binged all of NCIS, and that was really good. It was a recommendation that I got way back in the day, and I finally just watched it, and it was great. I loved it. What podcasts are you into, or do you only listen to music? I am not really into podcasts, but I'm starting to get into them. One of my favorite YouTube mamas just started one not too long ago, so I've been trying to follow her podcast. And then, of course, my first lady just started a podcast, so I'm trying to get into that one as well. And my favorite guy on Queer Eye on Netflix, Jonathan Van Ness, has a podcast, so I'm trying to slowly but surely get into them, but I haven't really, you know, it's not like something I have to do week to week. It's just oh, well, I have a few minutes, I'm supposed to be doing dishes, so I'll listen to a podcast instead of turning on an old show that I've already seen, because I do go through my apartment with my laptop and watch stuff on there, but sometimes I'll turn on a podcast instead. Let me see. Which meal is your favorite, breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Honestly, I'm not that big of a breakfast person, but because it's my boyfriend's favorite meal of the day, and because I'm trying to get better, you know, health-wise, I'm trying to make sure that I eat all 3 square meals a day and 2 snacks in between. But honestly, my favorite is dinner. I feel like you have so many more choices for dinner, and that's kind of a catch-22 because I don't like a lot of choices. That's another reason, that I watch the same stuff over and over again. My boyfriend makes fun of me about it all the time, but that's one of the reasons why I do it, because there are so many choices. There are so many choices out there. Like on Netflix, I could sit and for 20 or 30 minutes just going through what they have and liking stuff or putting stuff on my list and not watching any of it. It's so much out there, and it's like there are too many choices. So just like dinner, there are so many choices. It's like, oh my God, what are we gonna eat? So a lot of nights I'll ask my daughter, I'll ask my boyfriend, and everybody's like, I don't know, what do you want to eat? And I'm like, if I knew what I wanted to eat, I wouldn't have asked you. So it's crazy. It's my favorite, but it drives me nuts because I never know what to make. And I'm trying to get out of the monotony. Like, we used to have the same dinners like every 2 weeks. So I'm trying to get into different recipes, different spices, different things that'll, you know, give us a little bit of, oh, I like that. That's different. We should put that, you know, in a rotation, or, you know, just making it different. And it's been a little difficult because a lot of times the stuff that I want, I don't have the ingredients for, but it's been an adventure trying to find different cuisines. And I have a very picky eater as a boyfriend, so it's hard to find stuff that me, my daughter, and my boyfriend want to eat. So I'll let you know how that goes. Would you rather cook or eat in? Honestly, I would love to order in. Sorry, the question was order in or cook. But yes, I would love to order in more, but we're balling on a budget in our household, so mama's gotta make it do what it do. What's the phone app you use most? Honestly, I think I get a lot of use out of Spotify, because when I'm not listening to podcasts or music on my Spotify, I'm turning on lullabies for my baby boy for bedtime. That's one thing that we have instilled in him, is a love for music, and he rarely sleeps well when he doesn't have any lullabies on. So Spotify is one I use a lot. Of course, my social medias, so Facebook, Instagram, I've gotten into. At first, I wasn't a big Instagrammer, but now I'm on it a couple of times a day, every day. I don't use my WordPress as much as I should with my blog. I have gotten away from writing. I've done a lot more videos for you guys, so I need to start writing a lot more, getting my my words out that way, as well as being here on YouTube. Let me do one more, maybe two more questions. Are you at all religious or spiritual? I don't subscribe to a specific religion. I was born and raised as a Catholic for the most part. Like, I was baptized and I went to church on what I call the high holy days, which was Christmas, Easter, stuff like that. Or when, I visited my grandparents, because my grandparents were a lot more in the church. But I don't identify with the Catholic faith as much as I guess my family would have liked. And not all of my family. Some of my family, stuck with it. Other people went, different religious ways. Other people are like me and aren't very religious. I'm a more spiritual person. And I do believe in God. I'm a Christian, but I just don't subscribe to a specific religion. I'm more non-denominational, if that makes any sense. I do believe in God. I do believe that he put me here for a reason, and I do believe he is my higher power, but that's the basis of my spirituality. And I believe in destiny or fate. I believe that my current boyfriend was put here on this earth to be with me, and I could go on, but ultimately I'm spiritual. I'm not necessarily religious. Do you believe in second chances? This was a big one I really wanted to answer. I do believe in second chances. I do believe in forgiveness, because forgiveness is for you. If somebody crosses you and you try to hold on to a grudge, believe me, I was a grudge keeper. Like, I could hold a grudge for years. I almost got to a decade with one instance, but it was hurting me more than the other person, I learned. And I've been told that many, many times, but you don't know and you don't believe it until you've actually been through it yourself. So I do believe in second chances, but the third or more, it depends on who you are and how you've crossed. Because like the saying says, first time, shame on you. Second time, shame on me. And there shouldn't be a third. It shouldn't be. But again, it depends on who you are and how you've crossed. All right, one more. I promise, one more. What are you excited about most in your life right now? I am most excited about all of it, honestly. I just turned 34. Yay, me. That's why I didn't post anything last week. I took a little breather to just, chill and celebrate my birthday. I was hoping not to be quarantining for my birthday, but, stuff happens. I am excited about the next chapter of my life. I'm excited for where my relationship is going. I'm very, very happy in it. I'm excited to see how my kids grow and, learn and do amazing things in this world. And I'm excited for me to be doing the same. I'm excited for this YouTube channel. I hope that my virtual family grows and grows and grows. I can't wait to put out more content for you, both here and my blog. I can't wait to get into writing again. Like, I'm super stoked for what the future holds. I know that this COVID-19 has, you know, stunted 2020, and it's made it a little harder to, you know, enjoy, but I really am trying to be optimistic and just smile through it and see where we go from here. Well, I hope you guys feel the same way, and I hope I put a smile on your face, and I hope you learned a little bit about me today. I can't wait for you guys to see what else I'm brewing, what else I'm cooking up, and I just can't wait. I really can't wait for 2021, but we'll pump the brakes on that. We got 4 months left in 2020. Let's just make the best of it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.